Hey, third grade mathematicians. Thanks for tuning in. Today's lesson is Math Lesson 2, Lección de Matemáticas 2. It should look like this, so if you have this in your packet, please get this out. Don't worry about these instructions because you've already done them. Thanks. Our learning target today, we are learning to understand or better understand fractions. Our success criteria today, I can correctly name how much of a fraction is shaded in on each shape. So, to start us off today, we'll have to figure out, what is a fraction? Well, a fraction is a number of equal parts of a whole. And you'll see equal is written in red because for something to be a fraction, each part needs to be the exact same amount, or in other words, equal. So, if I was to draw a square, and this square we will say is one whole. This square is one whole. If I divided that square into two equal parts, like so, each part of that whole would then be 1/2. 1/2 and 1/2 make one whole. Let's look at the page together and see how we can solve these problems. First, make sure you're on the page that says Fractions Revisited, or in Spanish, Repaso de Fracciones. Okay? Let's read the directions on number 1 together. Fill in the bubble next to the fraction that shows how much of each shape is filled in. Or in Spanish, llena la burbuja en la fracción que muestra cuánto de cada figura está lleno. Okay? So for our example, para nos ejemplo, you can see that square is broken into 2 equal parts. So the square is broken into 2 equal parts. Each part is then 1/2, un mitad. So they filled in the bubble for 1/2. Let's look at the next problem. We have here a circle, and that circle is broken into 1, 2, 3 equal parts. So each part would then be, you guessed it, 1/3. But then we have to look and see how many parts are shaded in. So 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3. So 2/3 of the shape are shaded in. So then you would fill in the bubble that says 2/3. Close. There you go. This bubble has 2/3, so you'd fill in that bubble. Okay? All right, mathematicians, let's look at question number 2 together. First, let's read the directions. Follow the instructions to color the array below. Siga las instrucciones para colorar la matriz a continuación. Color half the squares in the array red. Colorea la mitad de los cuadrados en la matriz roja. Color 1/4 of the squares in the array blue. Colorea un cuarto de los cuadrados en la matriz azul. Color the rest of the squares in the array green. Colorea el resto de los cuadrados de la matriz en verde. Okay? So first we'll need to figure out how many squares there are. If you need help on this part, go back and watch lesson number 1 on multiplying with arrays. So once you figure out how many squares there are, you'll need to do half of those squares, 1/2, red. So go ahead and see if you can do that. Then you'll need to color 1/4 of those squares in the array blue. So take 1/4, or divide that total number into 4 equal parts, and then color just one of those parts blue. Then the rest of the squares need to be colored in green. The final question you'll need to answer, what fraction of the array is green? ¿Qué fracción de la matriz es verde? If you get stuck, mathematicians, don't be afraid you have an answer key to use or to call one of your teachers. We're here to help.